Out there, if you are, please go ahead and say hi in the comments. I'm not seeing anything on this screen, that's why I'm asking. So let me check my phone. Hopefully you can hear me. Okay, now I can see. Now I see that I'm streaming. So hey, how are you? Hope everyone's fine. Hi from Pensacola, Florida. Rocky says hi. Say hi, Rocky. Say hi, Rocky. Rocky's sitting here being very comfortable, saying hi. And today we are going to talk about a couple of things. I'm just going to wait till I see some more people come on. I'm going to type hello and let me know if you're there. Hopefully you all have had a good week. Have you had a good week, Rocky? Huh? There's Rocky. Have you had a good week? Huh? Yes, you have had a good week. See, I've had a very good week because I just don't do anything but sit here while Katrina stamps. Yay, Monica and Jackie, hi, thanks for joining me. All right, lay down. Lay down. You're gonna go back. Lay down. This isn't for you, but it's okay. You can join me. He's like stretching. He's getting ready to get up from his nap. Okay, I wanted to cover a couple of things. Saturday, I have a fancy folds workshop that I will be giving. It is still on the on my website. I sent out a newsletter. If you need to know about it, let me know and I can shoot you a link. We're going to have a bunch of cards. You'll get this big PDF and it has all the directions that you're going to need to make some projects. Here you go. I've got them in these envelopes because I've already started cutting my paper, getting them ready for the workshop. My PDF comes with note pages because I cannot make sure that every step is going to be the way you need to understand it. So that's why when we have our Zoom workshop, it's a time where we can take time, slow down, and go through all the steps for the workshop. And you can take notes. And if there's even some errors, which sometimes there are, even though I try to proofread it, that would be helpful. You should be getting your mini catalog for the winter autumn, so that should be out. If you don't, let me know. If you're my customer, you will have gotten yours. If you're not my customer, I will ask you for shipping, but I'll be more than happy to send you a copy. And since we can't really, I did some of my reveals last week. This week I'm going to talk a little bit about the a set that I've been playing around with. But first I wanted to cover something that I got a question on. I got a question on host codes. A host code is generated when someone wants to give a party, or when someone has a bunch of little orders. Let's say they have a bunch of friends that they are stamping with, and the friends really like all the products that they're using, and they're stamping up products. Well, you can give me a call. I will generate a host code just for you, because as long as the orders are below $150, you will get all their stamping rewards rolled up into your account that you can use, because stamping rewards don't accumulate, or you don't get stamping rewards until oh, here's my nails. I just read the thing, it said show me my nails. You can't get stamping rewards until your order hits over $150. So if you have orders that are below that, you can ask me for a host code. I'll give you a host code. You can take the orders, and then what accumulates up to over $150, $200, $300, you get all those stamping rewards. and you get the discount if it's like, say, over $600. You get the discount as the hostess. Now, the other person, if it's over $150, I wouldn't recommend doing it through a host code with a hostess. Go ahead and put in the order yourself, because then you will get all the Stamper rewards and you get the discount. And if it's over $600, you get one big item at 50% off. So if you save that for, let's say, 1 September or so, when the new mini machine comes out, you know, you can do that. Or there's a couple of big, I can't really think if we have anything big. Stamparatus, you know, those kind of things. The big ticket items have usually been our die cut machine. I don't think we can call it Big Shot anymore, because it's not a Big Shot. It's technically a die cut machine. So, having said that, I've been working on one of the cards that we'll be doing for for our workshop, our Fancy Folds workshop. Here is an example. This is a one sheet wonder. It's a fold out card. It's a 5-panel fold out card. This card I made. It's just one piece well, it's one sheet of cardstock, but it's cut so that it folds out. I have a little bit of DSP back here, and I have a piece of DSP back here because that shows up. You notice these brown spots? That's because when I colored these using the middle, I used the alcohol markers, and on the outside edges of my flowers, I used a sponge dauber. So I wanted to create a card that was just stamped. So this is the card that I'll be showing, and I'll be teaching you how to put this card together. It's called a One Sheet Wonder. It's a 5-panel card. So I still have room in my workshop for that. So on that, I wanted to create another card using the same format, the One Sheet Wonder. I came up with this one. This is a card featuring the Peony, I think it's the Peony Garden suite that's in the current catalog. Here's the Peony Flower, and then as you open it up, I'm going to open it up this way. As you open it up, oops, there it is. So you can see, I just want to make sure you guys can see it. You can see it's 5 panels, and it's using, I think it's Petal Pink cardstock. And this card I created because I wanted to show how you can use all kinds of your DSP for a project like this, especially Stampin' Up! DSP, because it's so pretty and it coordinates, you know, the front and back. So I'll go ahead and I'll pull it in on the camera on my desk shot. But what I'm going to do is I'm gonna talk about this flower. We're gonna put this flower together, but I have some really neat products to show you how to make this flower that I haven't seen anywhere. So that's my big reveal. So let's go ahead and transition over to my desktop. On my, one of the things I want to talk about, since this is my workshop, is a Fancy Folds workshop. Okay, that's what I'm doing this month. Next month, send me your ideas of what you'd like to see or what you're interested in for a workshop. I was just talking about it today, but I'd be interested in any kind of ideas you want. Is it too early for Christmas? Are you still looking at some of the things in the current catalog? Shoot me some comments. Give me some ideas. Okay, this is the Peony Garden suite in the catalog. It is gorgeous. It comes with these wonderful faceted gems. I'm going to show you how I used these square vellum doilies. Look at this ribbon. This is gray ribbon, and what's kind of neat is that the cardstock, and here's my ink, is the petal pink. Here's my cardstock, and it also coordinates with another piece of ribbon that's in the current catalog, and this is the organdy striped ribbon. Isn't that pretty? But it comes with this nice gray ribbon, because when you look at the DSP, and I have this DSP is just a mess because I've been playing with it. It's the front is the petal pink with all kinds of different designs, and the back are these wonderful gray granite and soft gray colors that are just gorgeous when you put them together. In fact, I've seen some ladies have stated that they have shown the suite to customers, and they've actually sold products to brides because the brides wanted to take the colors and the concept and use them for their weddings. That's how popular this suite has become. So let me show you how I use this suite, and I'm just going to kind of pull in here because I think it's kind of cool. Here's the flower. This is the Peony Flower. There are a number of dies, and I'm going to go through the dies on how to put this together. This is probably one of the best flowers that Stampin' Up! Has come up with. We've done daisies, we've done orchids, we've done magnolias, but look, this flower is flat, yet it has some texture and some relief to it, so that's really pretty. Here's the bow, the organdy stripe bow. Here I just stamped a plain panel with the petal pink. I used a little bit of sponge daubing around the edge. Here is just a piece of DSP. I put the vellum piece behind it for a little bit of contrast. I think that really looks pretty. And then I put the striped organdy ribbon on this side. I just used, and this is very monochromatic, just use the same ink and the same color to stamp that sentiment and kind of put it there on that panel. This is the panel here where you would want to write something, and this is DSP, and then I just stamped very lightly in petal pink the peony from the stamp set. And then this back panel is just DSP, and then I put a piece of ribbon right here. So here's an idea for this kind of card. You could put a piece of ribbon here, you could have added another piece of ribbon, and you could put a photograph in there if you're going to give a gift, or if you're going to use this as a Christmas card. I put the ribbon on this side because when you fold it up, I've got this ribbon on that side, and I kind of wanted them to be kind of offset a little bit, and then this closes like that. So it's just really it's really a pretty card. In the back you will see that there are two panels that show up on the front. Now this panel was just a piece of the petal pink cardstock. I stamped the peony, and then you can see that I used the embossing folder and I embossed it, and the embossing folder, which is right here, comes with this suite, and it's called the Dainty Diamond 3D embossing folder. So that is just really, really pretty. So that is how that folds up right there. So that's the card that we'll be doing this weekend, and I'm going to show you some more ideas about the Peony Garden. So here's the stamp set. Let me just put this aside for now. And here is part of the dies. Now these dies here are pretty self-explanatory. These are the outline dies to your stamped image. this dye right here creates this very pretty edging that you can use either to edge a piece of cardstock like this, or to edge a piece of cardstock that you might want to put a sentiment on. So this is really a nice piece. Now, if you are going to run this through the Big Shot or through your die cutting machine, I recommend that you use some of this, and I'm just going to, some of this purple tape here to put it down on your platform, because if this, while you compress the paper and the plates and you run it through the Big Shot, it can slip. So you really need to have that adhered down so it doesn't slip. I've already I did a piece like this, and I got one of my edges kind of came out like that, because as it ran through, it kind of slipped. So that's a little tip. Okay, so those are the dies that come with it. Now, the dies that come with the set to make the flowers, and I'm going to show you them right here, are these dies right here. Okay. You have, and they're already, I've already used some product to cut out the flowers, because I'm going to show you what we're going to put together. These are the dies that, when layered together, put together the flower. These are leaves, and then these little pieces here are pieces that put together the leaves. So like here's the leaf, and then you have these little edgelets here that that kind of give it a little bit more color to the leaf. And doggone if I'm not missing one of my little edgelets. So I have to be very careful that I don't move things around too much and lose it. But I'm missing an edgelet. Okay. Because I have these three, I've got those two, so I'm missing one. Oh, I hate when that happens. All right, so what I did is I cut these flowers from, let me get the paper. Okay, do you remember this paper? It's in the new catalog. This is your Glimmer paper. It's a rainbow Glimmer paper. Here are where I cut the flowers out, and I took the Glimmer paper. This Glimmer paper was cut across the bands. I had to recut my second piece of Glimmer paper so that it runs along the band. Then I took my cardstock and I laid out 1, 2, 3, 4. This was one flower. So it went from dark to light. This was another flower. 1, 2, 3, 4. I was using this dark color here, and those are the colors that you see right here on these dies. All right. That's what I'm doing. This is what you're going to come out with. This is the flower, and let's come in and take a look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So here's a flower that's made out of Glimmer paper, using kind of the ombre and placing your dies so you take advantage of that ombre effect as you go from the outside into the inside. So the outside is darker and then it gets lighter on the inside. Okay, so we're going to do that same effect with these dies here and put this together. Now I'm also going to show you another material I used to put together a flower. This material is, and let me pull it in right here. This material is the color, it's called the Velveteen paper pack. The color Velveteen. Here it is. It's this beautiful Velveteen, and you got a, I guess this is that cinnamon color. You got a soft sea foam, and then you got Highland Heather. So I took this Velveteen, and I took and cut out the flower, and then used some purple posy or Highland Heather, and I just kind of edged around the edges, and you can see that it just turned out really pretty. So here are two different materials that I used to put together besides cardstock. These are different materials you can use to put together the peony. Now I'm going to show you the third. This one here is cardstock. Let me show. This one here is just cardstock. This is the rainbow glimmer paper. This is the Velveteen, and this is a piece of vellum that I had from a much older set. Isn't that pretty? And I just put this card together. This afternoon, and it's just pink vellum, and it came with I think a couple of celebrations before. It came with a green vellum, a yellow vellum, and a pink vellum. Now this center, if you can see that kind of glimmers a little bit, because this is the black glimmer paper that is in the mini catalog under the Halloween suite. Because if you look at some peonies, they have a dark center, and I thought that was really nice contrast. And I also liked it because the pink and the black kind of go well. And here I used the petaled pink suite of DSP, and here I'm using the gray. And you can see I took a piece of white cardstock and I embossed it. Then I added 2 squares. This is simply the vellum, just to kind of give it a little bit more texture. This is the gray, a piece of gray cardstock that I edged here using my my edging punch, my 3-corner punch, and then I just slipped the peony up on dimensionals, and then I put that really pretty, this really pretty silver ribbon that comes with the set. So there is 3 different types of materials that you can use to get different effects for your flowers. Okay, so now that I've demonstrated what you can do, let's go ahead and put this peony together so you can see how it works. I'm gonna pull in right here. Okay, so these are the pieces. You have 4 pieces. We're going to start from large, the next size, and then this is the smallest piece right here. You're going to go ahead and just kind of punch them out, and we're just going to put them right here, and you can see how pretty they already kind of glisten. Okay, so I've got my pieces off here on the side. And what you want to do is you want to grab a pencil, something kind of small, and you want to just some people actually grab something and try to turn this. I just like to kind of roll it, because you just kind of want to give it, you want to break up that fiber a little bit so that you can, so it has a little bit more, it's not as flat, it's more like a flower. So this edge, you've got a hole right here. You just kind of want to gently just kind of roll it right like this, right along here, so that you kind of give yourself, and what we're doing, and then I'll just put our sample here, we're kind of trying to roll these edges, and it is hard because this is a very, you know, this glimmer paper is not thin. It's not as thin as, you know, the vellum. So that's the first one. Then I'm going to take the second largest one, which is this one, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put my pencil here, and I'm just going to kind of roll it with my fingers, just very gently breaking up the fibers, kind of breaking up the fact that it wants to go horizontal. And then again, there's a slot. So I want to kind of roll right on the other side of that slot, like that. And you don't have to worry about this because that's going to go to the back, okay? So that's our second piece. You got 2 more pieces. We're going to take the next largest again. We're just going to go ahead and roll. And I just want to do this center right here. Okay, so I've got that done. And then my last piece. And here's the slots all the way up here. If you kind of notice, you'll notice that these slots, as you progress across the slot, the first one, the slot's at the bottom, middle, top, and then the very top is the last one. So you can kind of see that's the order they're going to go in. Okay. All right, so now that we've done that, we're going to take some glue dots, and you're going to need a tool. I take my little pokey tool here, and I've got my glue dots right here. We're going to take our largest piece, and this is the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to turn that upside down so you can see that this is the bottom and this is the top. So you're going to open up your piece, and you're going to slip the next largest piece, and you're going to slip it in here, right? Because you can kind of see how that fits. And this piece here, this shape right here is going to match that shape right there. They both match, okay? You can see it on the back. The shapes match, this curve matches. So you just kind of line, see they're off. I'm just gonna line those shapes up. And when those shapes line up like that, I'm just gonna put this down. I'm gonna grab a glue dot, and I like to open it up and then put my glue dot like right there at that hill right there, that little mountain. And then I'm gonna close it, I'm gonna line it up again, and I'm gonna press it. So now, 2 parts of my flower are put together. Now I'm going to put my next largest. I got 2 pieces left. 2 pieces left. Okay, so I'm going to do the next largest piece, put that aside, and I'm going to do the same thing. Only now I'm going to open up the next slot right here, and I'm going to slip this in there, and it's going to slip in very nicely. I'm going to turn it around, and you can see where that right there, that is where I'm going to match that up with those curves. See? Just move it over, and it lines up with those curves. Once it lines up, I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to get another glue dot, because all I'm going to be doing is just holding my layers together. So that's my third layer, and I'm going to put my glue dot right there. And then I'm just going to make sure that it lines up. And there it is, it lines up. Okay, so now we have one more layer that's going to go right into this slot right here. So here it is. Now this got kind of munched when it was going through the through my big shot right there, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to kind of work with it. This is also, so you kind of open this piece up like that, right? I can stick my finger in there gently, and I'm going to just slip this in. And this is the one that's the toughest to go in. It's a little tight. So you just kind of have to just gently kind of work it in there. And I even kind of bend it so it's just kind of curved. And then you kind of notice how it's coming out right here, out the back. And it also, you can see right there, it's also going to match up with those curves like that. So everything matches up with the curves. And then you turn it around, and that is your flower. So let's go ahead and put this piece down. Putting down, trying to put down my glue dot here, okay. And then I'm just going to match up those curves right there. And then I'm just pinching them together. So now I have there's my flower. Let me just move out a little bit. So there's my flower. I positioned my pieces across my paper so that I'd have an ombre effect. And I have this really, now it's a little loose right here, but you can add more glue dots if you want in here. What I do to put this down on a card is I just use dimensionals, and I stick my dimensionals so that it kind of catches this paper back here rather than trying to go and put glue dots in between. I've seen some people actually just putting glue in there. Okay, so there's our second flower. Now, I also cut out of the yellow, there's this little stamen piece, and you can kind of lift this up and it should go right in there. So there's your flower. And then you can push it down, and I just stuck it in there, but you'll probably want to go back. There it is. You probably want to go back and glue it down. But there it is. There's your flower. Now I have green pieces that I cut out of the green cardstock for leaves, and these are glitter leaves. If I can find my other one. These are the glitter leaves, and then these are the two-tone leaves I have for this one here. And then these are just my plain leaves for my velveteen flower. Isn't that gorgeous? I just think those are so pretty. I haven't seen anybody use them like that. Otherwise, what I've seen is that everybody will stamp them out of cardstock, and then they just dab them. Now you can do that with this around your edges. Before you put it together, you want to go ahead and do your separate edges. Now I'm looking for and here's my other one. What I'm looking for is how to put these together, and the ideas I have in making a card, and I'll put the card and I'll post it later. But for the purple one, I'm using Highland Heather, and I want to take a piece of I kind of like this piece here, and then I think that looks, the fact that this is such a rich looking flower, I really don't think it needs anything else. And these are the Velveteen leaves made out of the soft sea foam. So that's kind of what I was looking at in putting together this card. And then for this card, I wanted to use much like using the same kind of idea, because these cards are so bright, I thought I would use the gray granite and then I would layer with smoky slate and see if maybe using something like that, and you know, coming off with some glimmered, or I could do it this way, but see if I could come off with something kind of pretty like that. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. But those are kind of my ideas. The other thing that's kind of interesting is that this paper, see, this is the DSP. Look at that kind of that soft color, or rather that soft pattern. That would even be kind of interesting, you know, back there. Kind of like that. Just kind of adding some layer to come up with some cards. Now, I'll make these. I'll put these together and post them. I'd be interested in what your ideas are. Where's my other one? Oh, and then my other one. See, even look at this one. I mean, that one is just, isn't that pretty? I mean, those are just, I just love how pretty those came out. So, I wanted to show you the Peony Garden, and here is I used the Velveteen, and I used the Glimmer paper to kind of come up with these leaves. So to kind of give you some all kinds of different ideas for how you can put together your peony from the prize peony set using all these really neat little doodads here. I think it's not hard. It's a lot of fun. Once you get started, you just start rolling and making flowers. And like I said, I was experimenting with all kinds of different paper, you know, from Vellum to the to Glimmer paper, and then the Velveteen. Now, you know, the catalog. The mini catalog has red Velveteen for, and if you've looked at it, you know that there is a poinsettia. So look, you know, taking a look at this and what you can do with this Velveteen paper and how you can kind of use it, you know, it will take your a dauber to kind of give it a little bit of depth. That would make a beautiful, beautiful flower. So think about that when you look at your catalog, and some ideas for a workshop. I would love to do a workshop on putting together some projects with flowers, particularly poinsettias for Christmas. So that's something to think about. So let me know if you're interested in something like that. So that's really all I have. That's all I have for you today. It is 20 minutes to 8. I don't have any other ideas to show you. I just thought these were, I mean, I just thought that is just so pretty. I just love I just love that. Look at that glimmer. It's so pretty up close, and it's flat, so you can mail that. I just really think those turned out really pretty, and I think my favorite has to be this Velveteen one. I think that is just really nice. So I'll post the cards that I put together on Stamping Fusion so you can see what I come up with. But other than that, Rocky's asleep. It's past his bedtime. So this is Cat Chancellor. Hold on, let me see. Monica, the other way, the white strip needs a texture stamp on it. Let me see. Let me go back to my thing. So Monica, you're saying this one needs a texture stamp on it, and this one. You know what? I agree with you. And something I pulled out. If you remember this embossing folder, which came with the Forever Greenery, it has those green flowers on it. I thought I could put this like that, and then have the embossed, and then have the flower right there. So that's something I'm thinking of. And the only reason why I picked this rather than any other folder is because I cut these edges before I embossed. What I should do is I should emboss the paper first, then run it through the cutting machine to go ahead and cut my edges. But then sometimes when you do that, then you end up losing your your embossing. It gets flattened. So that's why I was kind of struggling with the best way to approach that. But yeah, I think that's a good idea. So she's saying maybe with some texture on the white. Yes, texture from oh yes, and you know what the texture I was thinking of for the stamp? In this set right here, there is this very, very, very subtle little texture stamp. And if you look on this card, and let me just pull it in because that's what I was thinking. When you look at this card, you can see where I put the texture stamp, like right here. I don't know if you can see. I just put some very light texture right there. You can kind of see where I kind of laid it. So I was thinking, another thought was to take this white piece here and use a really light color, like maybe Purple Posy, and maybe do a background either with a design or maybe some of the, maybe the flower very, very, very lightly, or this, the larger flower kind of as a background stamp. Because I liked what it did here. Because I used, you can use the different, they come in different sizes. You can use this size right here, and then this itty bitty one I used right there on the corner. It comes with some leaves, and then I used this larger one here in this corner, and then when I flipped it around, I stamped that image tone on tone, which is the larger peony, which is this one right here. I stamped that one, and then I embossed it with the diamond 3D embossing folder, which is what comes with the set. So I was doing it this afternoon, so I hadn't really decided which way I wanted to go, but those were kind of my ideas I was kind of playing with. Is I really like that on the white, and I think having some kind of texture on it would really be pretty. So I'm gonna play with that idea. And I'm not so crazy about this paper in the back. But I think and this one on white as well, and maybe on, you know, let's see, maybe like this for this. I mean, that is just pretty too when you look at the, you know, the glimmer that it gives. Look at that. That is just so pretty. And then these leaves. So yeah, I was kind of musing how I'm going to put those together, but I kind of liked using the gray as a neutral, and then the white just to kind of make it pop, because I mean that is just, it is just so pretty. I just it's velvet. I mean it's gorgeous. I can't wait to make some more. And then here's, you know, the vellum, very kind of sheer and light, and then the cardstock. So there you go. So good ideas. Let me see what else I got ideas. No more flowers. What do you mean no more flowers? What do you mean no more flowers? I thought you liked flowers. I didn't want to do flowers either, but then I get into flowers and I'm like, wow, this is really cool. So thanks for your feedback, guys, and send me your thoughts, and I'll come up with something for next week. You guys stay well out there. Things are crazy. It's a crazy, crazy, mad world. So this is Kat Chancellor, Stamp Art Connection, stampartconnection.com. Goodbye from me and the rock star from Rocky. Be safe and stay well. Bye.